In this sea of blue caps and gowns, you'll find Tanishq Abraham.
No.
He's graduating from American River College at age 11.
Even on the first time I came to my college class, I wasn't really nervous, so this isn't much of a big thing for me.
Out of this graduating class of 600, most of the students range in age between 22 and 65. So at 11 years old, Tanishq is by far the youngest to walk across the stage this year. What were you doing at 11?
Oh, I don't even know. That's such a long time ago.
His parents knew early on that this pint-sized prodigy was destined for big things.
Even in kindergarten, he was pretty ahead, a few years ahead, and then it just went from there.
At the age of 10, I graduated from high school.
And he had no problem going to class with people twice his age.
Some of them were intimidated, and a lot of others were really happy that, you know, there's a kid in their class.
But like any other kid,
11-year-olds, they like to play video games. Anything else? What are your hobbies?
Yeah, I like to play video games with my sister.
A younger sister, Tiara, who also has her own gift.
I think you raise me up when I am down, and oh my soul so weary.
You're probably thinking, wow, but wait, there's more.
Of course, I'm going to get my MD, so I do want to become a doctor, but I also want to be a medical researcher and also the President of the United States.
To infinity and beyond. No wonder that's his favorite quote.
Michelle and Attain first met more than 10 years ago.
Absolutely love at first sight. Fell mad, just in love with her.
A relationship followed. A shared home, dreams of the future. Michelle proposed first.
What was the expectation? What would that result in?
Commitments. Lifelong commitments.
And that's what they promised each other, surrounded by a huge crowd of family and friends. But Irish law says they're not married. Officially, they're civil partners.
It falls grossly short of what we have, which is a family.
Their future will now be decided by the Irish people.
Yes!
Those who are fighting for a yes vote in this referendum say the issue is equality, allowing people to marry regardless of gender. The campaign posters across Dublin show this has become a more complex, bitter debate.
This is not just about equality to you.
It's about equality properly understood.
John Murray is a leading voice for the No Vote, which is strongly campaigning on the issue of gay parenthood.
Same-sex couples can't have children of their own, and same-sex couples obviously can't provide a child with a loving mother and a loving father. Those differences matter.
New Irish law already says gay couples can be parents, but this referendum is about adding a line to the Irish Constitution, a document that says families have inalienable rights. No campaigners argue that would give gay couples the right to not only adopt, but to procreate using donors and surrogates.
I do not want children to people to have the right to produce children with 3 parents or more.
There's a notable absence in this debate. God, the Catholic Church, once powerfully influential and outspoken across Ireland, is a relatively soft voice in the campaign for a no vote. Revelations of widespread mistreatment and abuse of children have damaged its credibility in this discussion. But this is a famously conservative country. Activists have been fighting for votes right up to the last moment. Both sides believe it's going to be close. Michelle and Attain are nervous, but hopeful.
Yeah, we're going to make sure we're surrounded by all of our friends and family when it's read out, and just celebrate and organise the wedding. That's the plan. The next wedding.
The result is uncertain. The debate alone is proof Ireland has undergone enormous social change.
Professional cleanup crews are keeping an eye on Haskell's Beach. It appears blobs of oil from the spill miles away has reached Goleta's shores.
Well, I've not seen this on the beach before. It's kind of moist. You see it's coming onto my hand there. It's very unusual, to me anyway.
Are you concerned about it?
Sure, who wouldn't be? These beaches are fantastic. You just hate to see it happen.
Locals are noticing it too.
What I see is a lot of normal seepage, but I see big blobs in the midst of it. What I mean is like hand-sized blobs, and that's not normal.
It's the reason why the city of Goleta declared a state of emergency.
This is a beautiful beach that we have, and more importantly, I'm worried about the wildlife. yes, it's hard on our residents that recreate here, but what about the wildlife?
The declaration will help the city recover costs if it gets worse. The beach remains open, but even surfers are having second thoughts about getting in.
I came down to look at the waves, and also I heard some rumors that there was a lot more tar here than normal. So I came. There's a little more than normal. It's not a whole bunch, but there's more.
Will you go surfing?
No.
Why?
It's just not safe. There's chemicals and things you don't want to breathe out here.
He's adorned cereal boxes, t-shirts, and bed sheets. Been the star of his own Saturday morning cartoon program, and appeared on virtually every video game platform ever released. He's always hungry, and he's turning 35. Born in Tokyo in 1980, our yellow friend was originally named Pacman, after the Japanese haka, essentially to chomp. But due to the closeness of a certain four-letter English word and some concerned arcade shop owners, Pacman became Pac-Man. Within 15 months of its U.S. release in October 1980, game maker Bandai Namco sold over 100,000 arcade units, and fans spent over $1 billion in quarters. A pop culture phenomenon had begun. Pac-Man is now the star of one of the most successful video games of all time, and according to the Guinness Book of World Records, he's one of the most recognizable of all video game characters.
Hello, my sweet little boy. Look how big you've grown!
Pac-Man's creator, Toru Iwatani, has said Pac-Man was meant to attract female gamers, to expand on that traditional male audience. Another revolutionary idea in Pac-Man? Keep things interesting, each ghost behaves differently. One simply chases you, two try to attack from the front, and the fourth will seem like it's chasing you, and then abruptly change course. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde are dangerous, until their lunch. I'd be remiss not to mention Pac-Man's wife, Mrs. Pac-Man, a legend in her own right, or to point out that Pac-Man is as relevant today as ever, with his own Google Doodle in 2010 and starring in a beer commercial in Super Bowl 49. So raise a glass or chomp a dot to Pac-Man. Happy birthday, old boy.
It took police roughly 48 hours to get their man. In a dramatic scene late Thursday night, police, with the help of the U.S. Marshals, cornered Darren Dellen Dennis Wint, the suspect in a quadruple murder and arson in Washington, D.C.
We were able to take him down and arrest him.
Marshals tracked Wint from Washington to Brooklyn. Police sources say when he saw himself on television, he fled back to the D.C. metro area. Police spotted him leaving a Howard Johnson's motel in College Park, Maryland. 20 vehicles and a helicopter chased the Chevy Cruze Wint was traveling in and a small box truck for 5 miles before surrounding the vehicles and making the arrest.
NYPD, New York Police Department, did a fantastic job getting us vital information last night.
Wint has been charged with first-degree murder while armed. Police say he held Savo Savopoulos, his wife, son, and housekeeper hostage in their homes for more than a day. They were tortured and eventually killed. The mansion they lived in was torched. Wint's attorney says his former client is not capable of that type of violence.
They've got the wrong guy. It's not him. It's a witch hunt. It's a group grope. They're out to get him.
Investigators are trying to determine a motive, piecing together a tragic story with the goal of finding justice for the families of the victims. Police say the attack wasn't random, noting that Savopoulos was the CEO of American Iron Works, a company Wint once worked for. In Washington, I'm Ryan Nobles reporting.